Hello everyone, and thanks for joining me for another episode of Brunswick Cable Access News. I'm Don Keating. This week I will report to you on Labor Day weekend safety. We'll have a report on middle school construction, which will begin on the 4th of September, coming up really soon. And a Cleveland Browns player is in hot water after a traffic stop. Those stories and more are coming up next here on Brunswick Cable Access News. According to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, approximately 1/3 of all traffic crash fatalities in the United States involve drunken drivers. In 2016, there were 10,497 individuals killed in what, by most definitions, were preventable crashes. In fact, over 10,000 people have died each year from 2012 to 2016 in drunk driving crashes, and in Medina County alone during 2018, 2 of the 3 fatal crashes so far this year have involved an impaired driver. To highlight this sobering reality, the Medina County Safe Communities Coalition, the Medina County Health Department, and several local law enforcement agencies kicked off the annual Drive Sober or Get Pulled Over awareness campaign last weekend as part of the 16th annual Cops and Rodders Car Show and Cruise-In at Brunswick's Laurel Square. The national campaign runs from August 15th through Labor Day weekend, which is September 3rd, said Safe Communities Project Director Jessica Miles. During that time and every day, the coalition reminds drivers that if they choose to break the law, Medina County law enforcement shows zero tolerance in its goal to end drunk driving. Drunk driving, one of the deadliest and most often committed yet preventable crimes, has become a serious safety epidemic in our country, Miles said. We are asking the public to do their part to be responsible drivers and to help keep our roadways safe by never drinking and driving. Though the car show at Laurel Square is a weekly event car lovers from all over parts of Northeast Ohio enjoy on a weekly basis, this annual event showcased police cruisers and utility vehicles in addition to the 200 classic antique cars that regularly attend the show. Additionally, Metro Health's Life Flight helicopter also made a special appearance during the event. Police officers and coalition members were also on hand to distribute traffic safety materials and to conduct activities with participants to determine the dangers of driving impaired. As a part of its annual public awareness campaign, the Medina County Safe Communities Coalition received a $42,000 federal grant this year to promote safe driving practices and create awareness and prevention of injuries caused by traffic crashes. In addition to the Drive Sober or Get Pulled Over campaign, the agency is also responsible for promoting the following: the National Click It or Ticket, Stay Alive, Don't Text and Drive, Buzzed Driving is Drunk Driving, and Look Out for Motorcycles community campaigns. Construction is slated to begin at the site of the new Brunswick Middle School next month. Developers for the project announced this week. As part of a public hearing on the first phase of the project, which is limited to site preparation only, representatives for Hammond Construction, the contractor hired by the school district to build the $63 million middle school, said crews will be on site starting Tuesday, September 4th, now that the city's planning commission has given them the green light to move forward. This is definitely going to be a showcase of a middle school, at least throughout the state, and maybe more, Planning Commission Chairman Joseph Sciarella said, noting the school is being built to accommodate approximately 1,700 students. While construction of the 240,468 square foot school itself won't get underway until next spring, the first phase of the construction, for which the commission granted its approval August 9th, will involve the grading of the parking lot and leveling of the land to set the pad for the new building, which will be located between the existing Edwards and Vicentainer middle schools. Since these schools have to remain on-site and open during the construction, that didn't leave us with too many places to put the new building, project coordinator Ed Sherrison said. Sherrison said the land construction crews will begin preparing is currently located between the two schools where the existing parking lot is located. As a result of the construction, that parking lot will be relocated to a new temporary parking lot that will be located on the northwest corner of the site off of Manhattan Avenue. Throughout the duration of the project, all traffic, including construction vehicles, will be directed to Manhattan Avenue, where signage directing motorists to the proper parking lot will be located, Sherrison said. Additionally, signs will be posted indicating that there will be no left turns from Manhattan onto Pearl and Central Roads throughout construction in order to not impede traffic for residents who live on the street. To keep students, staff, and other guests to the school safe during the construction process, fencing will be installed around the perimeter of the construction site, Sherrison said. As part of the site preparation, crews will be stockpiling both topsoil and fill dirt on site, which will be utilized as part of the second phase of construction. All of these materials will be coming from the site, Sherrison said, noting that crews are expected to generate 5,000 yards of topsoil and 3,000 yards of fill dirt. Neither of these stockpiles are expected to exceed 8 feet in height. We are very contingent that this is a residential area and we want to keep the piles to a minimum, but we don't want the additional expense of having to haul it off site and then paying to bring it back in. Also included in this phase of construction, Sherrison said, is the construction of 2 sediment basins that will catch runoff, as well as the demolition of the retail properties the school district purchased at the corner of Pearl Road and Manhattan Avenue, as well as 5 residential homes the district purchased on Oxford and Princeton Drives. The first phase of construction is expected to wrap up the week of Thanksgiving, Sherrison said. As far as the actual construction of the school is concerned, plans containing the specific layout and design of the building are expected to be presented to the Planning Commission early next year for approval. Construction will then get underway in April, according to Sherrison. Barring any unforeseen circumstances or adverse weather conditions, the school, which will house all of the district's students in 6th through 8th grade, is expected to open at the beginning of the 2020-2021 school year. We know it is important for the district to hit that date, which is why we've asked the Planning Commission to help expedite the process by splitting the approval process into 2 phases. Noting that the stadium being built to accommodate middle school sports will be completed in the summer of 2021. Deaths from drug overdoses seem to be on the decline in Medina County, according to Coroner Lisa Derenick. Derenick said in a recent report to Medina County Commissioners that there have been 9 deaths due to drug overdoses in the first 7 months of the year. That's down from 23 deaths during the same time frame last year of 18 in 2016 as well. However, Derenick also cautioned that the trend could reverse itself in the second half of the year as new illicit drugs find their way into the county. According to Derenick, many drug users have switched from the deadlier heroin to new hybrid drugs of combinations of heroin and meth. Drug users are getting away from heroin and using meth or a combination of the two, she said. Heroin slows down the heart rate and was responsible for many of the drug overdoses deaths that we've seen in the last few years. Meth is a stimulant and counters the effects of heroin. Derenick said that more meth made in Mexico has been finding its way into the county along with hybrid drugs whose ingredients and effects are hard to predict. A recent spike in fatal drug overdoses in Cuyahoga County has officials there concerned that there could be as many drug-related deaths in 2018 as last year's record-setting total. 14 people died of drug overdoses during a recent 5-day period from August 2nd to August 6th, the Cuyahoga County Medical Examiner's Office said in a statement. The uptick has Cuyahoga County on pace to match last year's total of 727 fatal drug overdoses. Derenick hopes a similar spike will not occur in Medina County. Efforts to curb the high rate of overdose deaths here have been partially successful. Derenick credited the recent decline in deaths partially to the availability of naloxone, a life-saving opioid overdose reversal drug which is now carried by most fire and first responders. Derenick said that the county commissioners, Derenick also told county commissioners that other deaths investigated by her office have seen a recent decline. So far this year, she said she has investigated 74 cases. There also were 179 cases where bodies were released from nursing homes, hospitals, and doctors with no investigation needed. Autopsies performed by the Cuyahoga County Medical Examiner's Office on Medina County residents have also declined. Derenick said that part of the reason is that an examiner from her office has been getting to death scenes more often than in the past. When we go out to the scene to see the descendant, by looking at the area, talking to the family, and examining the body, a lot of times I can determine the cause of death, she said. I'm 90% sure, and we don't have to send them for an autopsy. August 31st is International Overdose Awareness Day. The mission of this worldwide event is to raise awareness of overdose, reduce the stigma of drug-related death, support the families and friends who have suffered loss due to overdose, and to remember those who have suffered from a drug overdose. Ultimately, the goal of the Overdose Awareness Day is to spread the message that the tragedy of overdose and death from overdose is preventable. According to the Medina County Drug Task Force, as of July 17, 2018, overdoses have declined in 2018 as compared to prior years. As of July 17, 2018, 58 suspected opioid overdoses have taken place. In 2016, 104 overdoses. In 2017, 139 overdoses. According to the Medina County Coroner, from January to July 2018, there were 9 suspected overdose deaths as compared to 23 in 2017 and 18 in 2016. Medina County is working together as a community to reduce overdose deaths. Naloxone remains the single most powerful tool in preventing opioid overdose deaths. It is a safe medication that counteracts the effects of an opioid overdose. Project Dawn, Deaths Avoided with Naloxone, is an overdose education and distribution program with the Medina County Health Department. Participants learn how to recognize the signs and symptoms of an opioid overdose, make an emergency 911 call, perform rescue and breathing, and administer naloxone to someone experiencing an overdose by opioids. This free confidential walk-in program is available to adults 18 and over at the Medina County Health Department, located at 4800 Ledgewood Drive in Medina, every Tuesday from 4:30 to 6:30 p.m. A photo ID is required. The Medina County Opiate Response Team identifies Medina County residents who have experienced a recent opiate overdose and directs them to resources for needed treatment. A referral to the ORT can be submitted through the Alternative Paths website, which is listed below, via completing a form that can be downloaded and faxed to 330-764-8126 or by calling 330-764-3619 between the hours of 8 a.m. and 5 p.m. Monday through Friday. Once a referral is received, the team will initiate communication with the identified client or family member and set up a face-to-face meeting within 72 hours. Come learn more at one of the Overdose Awareness Day events to be held on Friday, August 31st, 2018. Wherever you are in the county, an event will be nearby. Events will be taking place at 4 p.m. at Nura Park, located at 4637 Center Road in Brunswick. Please join them as they remember loved ones who have been lost and learn how to prevent overdose. Project Dawn will be on site to provide information on getting Narcan training and free Narcan. For more information, visit the Recovery Center of Medina County. At 6:30 p.m. at the Cornerstone Chapel, located at 3939 Granger Road in Medina. As part of the event, they are collecting photos of those lost to drugs or alcohol. Please send your photos to the email address listed below or on Facebook at Stephanie Robinson. Photos will be displayed at the event. From 3 to 9 p.m. at Wadsworth Memorial Park, located at 279 Grandview Avenue in Wadsworth, presented by Elijah's Truth Foundation. A Cleveland Browns rookie wide receiver was charged with driving under suspension and possession of marijuana during a traffic stop on Howell Road in the South Park Mall parking lot around 3 a.m. August 5th. Antonio Callaway, 21, who recently moved to a North Royalton address, was stopped by Strongsville police in his 2018 Dodge Charger with Florida plates for failing to yield while turning left from a Royalton Road gas station. A police report said a small amount of marijuana was allegedly found under the driver's seat, and it was discovered Callaway's license was suspended. Callaway claimed he had not smoked marijuana and that his car had just been shipped up from Florida. Callaway was told to put his hands up and was patted down by the officer. Callaway, who was alone in the vehicle, was cited for the offenses and released. A family member was able to retrieve his vehicle, according to the police report. Driving under suspension, a first-degree misdemeanor, is a more severe charge than marijuana possession. For the first offense, Callaway appeared in Strongsville Mayor's Court August 23rd for arraignment. The original date was August 9th, but was delayed as Callaway had left for New Jersey to play in the Browns' preseason game against the Giants later that evening. According to Strongsville Mayor's Court records, Callaway could have paid a $240 fine to the court for marijuana possession, but the driving under suspension charge is not a waiverable offense and a court appearance is required. This is not the first time Callaway has been charged with a crime. Coming up next, we will have your Labor Day extended outlook for the weather, and the question is, will it be a hot one or a wet one? Be right back. Hey, welcome back. Thanks for joining me. We have Labor Day coming up, and we're going to take a look at our climatological data for that. But first off, let's take a look at this beautiful photo here. Brunswick Lake off of Center Road. This was near the Town Square Shopping Center recently. A beautiful sunset photo supplied to us. Indeed, the days are unfortunately getting shorter out there. Let's take a look at our weather data for the 31st of August to the 6th of September. That takes us through the final quote-unquote summer holiday season, right? Average high 78, dropping down to 77 degrees, and your average low, well, that's not supposed to be 78. That's called a little typographical error. Let's say 56 to 55 degrees is our average low, and your rainfall is 0.88 inches. Now, according to the National Weather Service, here is our outlook for temperatures. We have a really good chance from the Mississippi River eastward of having above normal temperatures during this time frame. And our precipitation, is it going to be drier than normal or wetter than normal? Well, let's take a look at our precipitation map. And our chances of precip, well, from the Ohio Valley northward, the further north you go toward the Great Lakes, the better chance you have of above normal precipitation. But a band from the Carolinas to the deep south and then all the way out here into the central plain states with a bullseye across to Oklahoma, Texas, and Kansas. Looks like a best chance of below normal. But you notice the last several weeks, much of the Pacific Northwest was well below normal for a precip. Check this out. Above normal possibilities far out to the west, all the way down into the Sierra Nevadas. Looks like our holiday may be warming up, as is tradition, toward Labor Day. I'll be right back with your bulletin board events in just a second. Just a reminder to Brunswick City residents that because of Labor Day, trash collection will be delayed one day for that week. Join the Brunswick Library as they welcome actors from Liverpool Township as they provide a spirit walk on Tuesday, September 4th from 6:30 to 7:30 p.m. in the library's Buckeye Room. Enjoy this spirited presentation as actors portraying local historical figures provides stories and insights into Myrtle Hill Cemetery's history and the many fascinating people buried there. Well, that does it for this week's Brunswick Cable Access News. I want to thank you once again, as always, for joining us. I hope you found it rather informative. Remember, if you have photos you would like to share with us, community events, send them to the email listed below, and we will be sure to get them on. But remember also to allow 10 to 14 days to have them published, as we film far in advance of when the show actually airs. Thanks for joining me for Brunswick Cable Access News. Until the next time, I'm Don Keating.
The preceding program was made possible through the use of equipment and facilities of Brunswick Area Television.